Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our returning guest. We have Damien back. We're here to break down Worlds Away issues 1 through 4 and everything in between. Damien, welcome back to the show. How have you been, man?
Thank you for having me. I've been good. I've been extremely busy. But again, Cody, thank you for having me on. I know you guys are probably tired of me being on the show, but
absolutely not.
I will
love
be back
it.
Every book that I have, because I love you guys. I love you.
We love you too. You are one of my favorite people to keep it geekly with. I love the merch too, the Worlds Away shirt. Yeah, oh man, it's so awesome. And I love what you do as an individual, like your job away from comics too, like inspiring, greatness among, youth. That's like a job that just you don't get a lot for, but you give so much and you have so much like room and opportunity just to change. Yeah, and it's awesome, dude. I love it. I always love seeing your pictures, man.
Thank you, man. I mean, and like you said, it is a tough job being a school administrator, but I do want to give a shout out to you because I've seen many different parenting styles. I've seen many different situations, and I just want to give you a round of applause real quick because you're doing a great job. I know how much your kids mean to you, and we were just talking about it, but you're doing a great job, man.
I appreciate that. And I mean, speaking of parents killing it, we have a parent in particular, Serenity, and her daughter, Mackenzie. And Worlds Away, I mean, I love the relationship in this. I read issue 2, had the chance to get the physical up on the shelf. And man, issue 2 was amazing. I again love what you're doing with the QR code. For those who are listening, when you read this, there is a certain part in the comic where you have a QR code where you can actually pull up your phone, listen to the music while you read it, and it does change like the whole, it's like such an immersive feeling. Before we dive into the comics too deep though, let's give a little recap of who you are for anyone who might be listening to the first time, and a little bit about your history as a comic creator.
Yeah, so I'm Damien Becton. I've been in the comics for as long as I can remember. This very recently I won the Mad Cave Talent Search in 2001. And that kind of kick-started everything. That really made up my mind and said, hey, if this, I think we, every time we do this, we have this conversation, but
I love it though. I love it, man.
Yeah, I love telling this story. But that when I won that competition, when I won that contest, I kind of said, if this dream of me creating comic books, if I'm going to be a comic book writer, if this is going to happen, then it's going to happen right now. And that's what I did. Ever since I won that, I kind of put the pedal to the metal and I started creating. I got some things coming out that we'll talk about later, but my biggest project that I've been working on is this story, Worlds Away, and we're about to be 4 issues deep. But yeah, that's how it is, and I mean, but it's fun. It's fun. It's hard work. Everything that you've probably heard that creating. If you got to commit to it, then you have to commit to it. You got to believe in yourself. All that stuff is true. It's true. You really have to commit. You really have to believe. But yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's my story, real quick.
Now, Damien, I've had you on the show a couple times, and man, I have like really fumbled the bag. I've dropped the ball, and I've never really asked you this. I know you have created beats, and the QR code is like to the beats that you've made, but like when you're writing these scripts, like what type of media are you consuming? Are you listening to any type of music? What gets you in the mood to write these scripts?
That's a great question. Oftentimes I will be listening to music. In this case, especially with Worlds Away, I do, the specific scenes that the QR codes kind of show up in. I do try to find the right instrumental. I try to find the right beat that I want to instill into the reader, because it's there's certain things that I want the reader to feel or try to understand a little bit more about how the characters are feeling. For issue 2, actually, Cherish This Moment. I really wanted to show how the relationship between Mackenzie and her father, Zaire. But getting into it, I can listen to all types of music. I remember we were talking about the Mad Cave thing, the Tales from Nottingham, and we'll talk about it later. But when I wrote that script for Tales from Nottingham number 5, it was in, I think it's set in 1191. It's some medieval stuff. So I brought it back. I played some old Final Fantasy, the old Final Fantasy, the medieval,
the good stuff
from the Nintendo, from the Super Nintendo, and I played some Final Fantasy 9 music just to try to get into the mood. I don't know if you've ever played For Honor. Have you ever played For Honor?
Oh yeah, yep.
The Knights versus Samurai.
So I used to play, what was it, the Nubishu? They had like the polearm spear, and I remember it was like right when it first dropped, before all the big meta updates. You were unstoppable with that in the Valkyrie, if I wasn't mistaken. You do like the shield bash, like 360 spin.
Oh yes,
and you just dismantle. Yes, yes,
yes. But yeah, I mean, you don't understand, Cody. Like I think 2,000 plus hours in the front. But that music, that puts me in the mood. So that it's really whatever type of music I'm trying to, and it can be any genre that I'm trying to really get into, or what I want the reader to feel. But in that case, I remember specifically because I was so excited for it to happen. The music I chose was some For Honor music, some Final Fantasy music, just to put my mind in the place of all the characters in there.
I love it. It's just something about like an arpeggio and like a harp. I don't know how Final Fantasy does it. Just like the beginning intro where it's like do 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 do. It's like, yes, I'm ready. Oh man! So for 2,000 hours, what was your favorite class to play as?
I started off as the warden. I was a warden at first.
Those guys are kind of cheesy too.
Yep, I used to do the shoulder dash.
Yes.
And then I moved over to okay, so you gotta hate me because I was light spamming with the Orochi so much. But there were like so many of them. I've broken so many controllers.
Orochi has the sword, right? The big sword. Yeah. Yep. All right. Yep.
I've broken so many controllers, Cody. That doesn't make sense, but I was really competitive. I loved it. I stopped playing for the past year and a half, maybe. But I want to get back into it. Every so often, I get that itch to get on it. But I think my girlfriend will kill me if I break another controller, if I put a hole in the wall.
That was a big thing for me too, was like Bloodborne. We were just talking about that too. I have like almost 390 hours into it, and man, I remember Orphan of Cost like rage squeezing the touchpad out of the middle. How do you do that? I don't know. It can be done though. It can be done.
Hey man, rage quitting is real. We're all human. We all enjoy what we enjoy, and it's because we're passionate about stuff. When we're passionate about stuff, then sometimes that comes out. Whether good or not, sometimes it comes out.
Speaking of being human, I love the human dynamics that you put in issue 2. Are we allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we start with Mackenzie. She's fighting off this witch. It's looking very dire. You have Serenity coming out of left field, fighting for her life to save her daughter. I just loved how it insane that fight sequence was. Not only that, but there were certain parts too where you would the artist would draw a little silhouette of the eyebrow or the eye just to show emotion in the mask. And I just thought that was such a nice, subtle touch. When you were talking with the artist during this fight sequence, what did that look like on the script?
Yeah. So what I told, and shout out to Christian, because obviously this book would not be wouldn't have come to fruition if it was for Christian. And he's super talented. I remember in the script, this is why you got to find if you're a creator out there, find an artist that you really trust or that you can collaborate with, because what I asked Christian to do was, I think I said inside the helmet Iron Man type shot. So when Tony Stark's in the his helmet, but you see everything around him, I told him to do that, and he came up with the shot of you can kind of see inside the helmet. And I told him to not exactly that, because it's not exactly Iron Man type armor, but I told him to put his own spin on it, and that's exactly what he did. But yeah, Christian's super talented. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Luana. Shout out to Reed as well.
So I don't know if we talked about this last time. Is Cam a nod to Jarvis?
Yeah, pretty much. So that's exactly how I pitched it. But he's pretty much Jarvis. and I kind of named him after a former student. So Serenity is a former student of
Mm-hmm.
mine. Mackenzie's a former student of mine, and then Cam, I had a student named Cameron Jenkins. He's playing college ball in North Carolina. Not UNC, but he's playing at
That's so
um,
cool.
a smaller school in North Carolina. But Cameron Jenkins, shout out to Cameron Jenkins, and if when you read issue 2, you'll see it's like an acronym for something.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam, I tried to make it fit. I remember I was thinking over what could CAM stand for, because I really wanted to use Cameron's name. But it stands for, it's never in the script. No one, it's probably not going to mention it, but CAM stands for computerized anthropomorphic mainframe. So I tried really hard to make it fit, and it ended up working well.
I love it. So we also meet another parent-child dynamic in this. Serenity and Mackenzie are saved by this duo, and I love just how different things were, the parallels, like how he ended up losing his wife. What was some of your direction for including this?
Yeah, I really wanted to Clar and Silu. I really wanted.
I had to let you handle those pronunciations.
Yeah,
That's why I worded it like that.
I really wanted to show a parallel. Really wanted to have kind of a foil for Serenity and Mackenzie, because that's really what they are. Really, their roles are reversed, but they're Clar, the father, and Serenity, their goals are the same thing. They just go about it different ways. Their goal is to ensure that their daughters are safe. And we'll see when we get to issue 3, and we'll see when we get to issue 4, that they go about that in very different ways. And you can already tell that Serenity will do whatever it takes, literally, because that's what she is. She's a warrior. She's a soldier. Do whatever it takes to make sure that Mackenzie's safe. Clar, he's just as dangerous, but he has a little bit more, he's a little bit more warm-hearted, I guess. And you'll see in issue 3 and issue 4 that that might create some conflict within the story.
I know you're a gamer. I mean, am I wrong in saying I'm picking up a little bit on like maybe The Last of Us, like where Joel and Ellie meets Henry and Sam?
That was part of it. I remember when I was coming up with the concept of Worlds Away, and it was influenced by many things. I think we talked about this last time, but it was influenced by many video games, specifically Final Fantasy. But in this case, there were 2 more. One of them is God of War, and another one was The Last of Us. So that parent-child dynamic was something that I really was playing with, something that I really wanted to do, because I did want to it's kind of a shout out to my mom. It's kind of shout out to my dad, this whole story, because I know both of them would literally do anything for me, especially when I was a kid. They kind of let me do my own thing now, but they would literally do anything for me. But very much so, The Last of Us, God of War, that parent-child dynamic was something that I really something that influenced me very much.
I love this whole experience, from cover to cover, and I won't spend too much time spoiling it, but we did get our first look at Syngard, and a little bit of what he's capable of. I just love his design so much. What went into his concept?
All right, so I can take a little bit of credit, but I just gave Christian, who is our artist, my collaborator, I gave him one direction, because I trust Christian so much that, I can just say, hey, can you do this? And I know whatever I say, he can make it 10,000 times better. So all I did, again, Cody, you already know we're video game people. All I told him was, for Syngard the Hunter, give me your best Elden Ring character. That's all I want. And then he came up with Syngard. And then we played around with the weapon. And then you'll see how he uses the weapon that he has. Oh my gosh, we weren't sure what kind of weapon that he wanted at first, but then I said, let's stick to the From Software games. Let's stick to Elden Ring. Let's stick to Dark Souls, and we ended up going with Bloodborne, and we just gave him a big old blunderbuss gun, and we'll see what that we'll be able to do in issue number 3.
So I mean, issue 1, we spent time building exposition, the mother-daughter relationship, the dynamics of that. Issue 2, shit hits the fan. You know, we start seeing a little bit more action. Things are getting a little bit more heated. What's issue 3, issue 4 going to look like? You know, this is your first arc of Worlds Away. You know, what can we expect with these last 2 issues?
So issue 3 specifically, issue 4 will have a lot of it too, but issue 3 is I wanted to show this as almost the climax of the entire story, because this is kind of what it's been leading up to. And I know it's only 4 issues, but we wanted to set up Syngard. We wanted to show how intimidating, how powerful he is, and it hits the ground running. There isn't when you get to issue 3, you'll see that it isn't a journey to Syngard, but when we get to issue 3, they're already there. They're already face to face. So it's really a drag out. It's a fight, and it's a brutal fight. It's gonna be big splash pages, and honestly, I gave Christian a lot of creative. I mean, I always do anyway, but literally in the script, I wrote 10 pages of script, and then from pages 10 or 11 to whatever, I said, these 2 are going to fight, or these 3 are going to fight. These are the things that need to happen, but everything else, go balls to the wall and make it happen. Make it yours.
Ooh, let's go.
I told him to use splash pages, double splash pages, and everything that he's shown me so far is absolutely insane. Because I like I said, this is a true collaboration between me and Christian and Luana and Reed and Devin, that like we trust each other enough to say, hey, let these 2 fight. Whatever you can come up with, let's make it happen. If there's something that we need to change, we'll change it. But other than that, I trust you, and that's what's happening. It's a big, huge fight, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
And for those of you watching, you'll remember Devin, our first live interview at Fantasticon. So we actually got to meet Devin in person. Big shout out to Devin too for letting my kids like chill kind of in his area while we shot our interview.
Hey, shout out to Devin, man.
Yeah.
I love Devin.
Yeah,
he has
awesome.
He just got some copies of Magni the Mighty.
So excited too. I love those pictures so much. Oh my God. Yes.
It looks great. He's a good dude too. Can't say enough about him.
So right now, let's go ahead, pull up the campaign for Worlds Away issue 3 and 4 and see what all the hype is about. So we are looking at Worlds Away issues 1 through 4, a sci-fi fantasy action comic series for fans of God of War and Radiant Black. Syngard the Hunter arrives, but Serenity will do whatever it takes to keep her daughter safe. We're currently at $5,172 of a $4,500 goal. 191 backers with 5 days left to go. Congratulations on funding. When the hell are they going to give you Project We Love? Like, hey, what's going on, Kickstarter?
Man, I promise you, I'm done with Kickstarter. I'm not really done with Kickstarter because they have the widest audience, but I'm tired of asking for. I honestly don't know what I have to do, but at this point, it's fine. I mean, Kickstarter is going to do what Kickstarter is going to do. I'm not mad at them.
But congratulations on funding. That is awesome. Right here's a look of Syngard for everyone that is watching right now as well. So I got to ask, what was your, reasoning for doing 2 issues with 1 Kickstarter? I know previously you were doing an issue, a Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. So what was the move for 2?
All right. That's a good question. And what I wanted to do was, 1, Kickstarter campaigns are very, very time consuming, very, very taxing. And I promise you, I lose a lot of sleep just checking to see. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to see if I have any backers. And honestly, what happened was I paid for issue 1 out of pocket. As a few $1,000s out of my own pocket. So when the first Kickstarter happened, that paid for issue 2. And then the second Kickstarter paid for issue 3. And this Kickstarter is going to pay for issue 4, or the production of issue 4. And so I just really wanted to consolidate everything and make it, because it is while I love promoting it, while I love talking about Worlds Away, it does take a lot of time out of it, out of my life. But it's always fun. And I just wanted to not just get it done, but I was ready for this arc. I was ready for everyone to see the end of this very first arc.
I got you. So excited. You're like,
Yeah,
I
man, it's
can't,
fun.
I can't wait another campaign. We need to do it now.
Yeah, let's get it done.
So right here we have, oh man, a climatic showdown. This is, and I did not realize how huge Syngard the Hunter is. Oh my God, he's a monster.
Yep. And this is, like I said, this is just the beginning. I told you we're gonna hit the ground running with issue 3. Like I said, there's every issue will start off with kind of a flashback, some inner monologue of everything of a specific character. Issue 1 was Zaire. Issue 2 was Mackenzie. And issue 3 will be actually Silu. We get some inner monologue from Silu. But after that first 3 or 4 pages, it hits the ground running. And it's a brawl from page whatever to page 22 or however long I wrote it. But yeah, it's and Syngard is huge. That's what I told him. I said another thing. I was like, can we make him a little bit bigger? Can we make him a little bit more hairier? But other than that, Christian killed it.
So I also love too how you said, they don't have to worry about making the journey to Syngard. Syngard's coming to them. That adds like a whole new aura and atmosphere. Like, this dude is a menace. This dude is a problem. And the fact that he's coming to them shows that he's not waiting, very long. He's ready to start clapping some cheeks right away. I also love this look of Serenity right here. It's like when the anime protagonist, when they're about to go insane.
Yeah.
Is that about what we're about to see? We're about to see Serenity pop off.
We've seen we've already
Mackenzie.
Yeah, we've already seen some one side of Mackenzie, but we're gonna see a whole another side of Mackenzie. We're gonna see an entirely different side of and Serenity in these next 2 issues, and it's gonna be insane. But yeah, that's what I wanted to play with as well. I wanted to show what a character wanted to be like, and what they're struggling with. So we know Mackenzie wants her mom to be one way, and we want them to struggle with that opportunity, with that choice to be that way. So our character is going to have to make a decision pretty soon, and hopefully it tugs on some heartstrings, because that's what we want. We want to, when all this action's happening, but hopefully we can have some great character moments as well.
So we've come to the reward. So let's go ahead and check these out. For everyone watching, I'm going to be putting the link in chat right now. Be sure to check this out with us. If you're able to back, we would love to see it. But simply putting this on Twitter and Facebook is 100% free. You have nothing to lose sharing an awesome campaign. So for $12, you're going to get the digital copies of issue 3 and 4. So I think that's one hell of a bang for your buck. How many pages are these issues?
These will be 24 pages each.
Wow.
If we hit our stretch goal, then we're going to add some bonus content for my next project that will be after Worlds Away. That'll be in between arcs for Worlds Away as well. So it's a lot of bang for your buck. And I actually think issue 4 will be 28 pages too. So it's going to be a little bit more for issue 4, the final.
And then for $7 more, you can get the digital catch up. So issues 1 through 4 for $19. Holy crap. That's outstanding. We have 24, the deluxe digital catch up. So this will get you the Try Not to Die. Is that what is included in this?
Yeah, so I got a preview.
Really?
I got a little preview of Try Not to Die, my next project that will be in there as well.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be seeing more of that soon.
And issues 3 and 4 script, as well as the complete Worlds Away original soundtrack. So awesome, dude. I am loving these rewards. We have Worlds Away issue 3 and 4 cover A for $25 for the physical copies. At $25 as well, we have the cover B. So I love how you can keep the variant as the same price as the original.
Yeah. Can we actually? I'm sorry. Can we just talk about Kenneth Laster, his cover real quick?
Yes. Yeah.
He's a good dude, and I absolutely loved his cover.
I love this color palette. It's gorgeous.
He gave me so many options to the ones because I told him to do whatever you want. But he gave me like 7 or 8 different options. And I said, can we have a combination of B and C? And then he created this. And I was like, oh, dude, it looks incredible. And,
it almost reminds me of like a 70s like rock vinyl.
Yeah, that's what I told him too. I was
Ah.
like, man, but he's a good dude and he's super talented. And I'm collaborating with him on Try Not to Die as well. That's when I saw his work. I said, you have to do a cover for me.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Congratulations on Try Not to Die too. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'm excited about that. You have a lot of cool projects up your sleeve.
Yeah, man, cross your fingers for me. Cross your fingers.
Yes. At $30 or more, we have the Deluxe Worlds Away issue 3 and 4 cover A. We have Worlds Away 2, 3, and 4 at $30. And then the physical Worlds Away catch-up tier at $35. So we have the Deluxe Physical at $40. What's all in the Deluxe Physical?
And the Deluxe Physical will bring you all of the previous Deluxe. That means the poster, for or the mini poster for Kenneth Laster's variant cover. It's like we wanted to switch it up a little bit. Last time we did the trading card. This time we wanted to give out a physical movie poster, a mock poster, making it look like cool. Worlds Away was a movie. And there's if you choose to get that, you'll see some shout outs at the beginning or at the bottom of that. And you get the script, you get the original soundtrack, you get Try Not to Die, the preview, and everything in between.
And then we have at 60 or more the Worlds Away t-shirt plus deluxe as well. And then the Worlds Away the movie poster at 100 plus the deluxe. This shirt is so cool.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's that cover. That shirt is actually the cover for Worlds Away #1. I wanted to shout out Christian again because his work is really, really incredible.
And then we have Galaxies Away. So this includes everything for $135. Awesome price right there. You get the 3.0 Worlds Away t-shirt. Try Not to Die cover. This is gorgeous. I cannot wait to get you on to break this down. Like this is awesome. So what type of genre is this going to be?
That is going to be my first and hopefully not my last horror comic. And we could talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Because our Kickstarter for that is coming up pretty soon. Hopefully, I got to meet with him tomorrow to see where everything's at. But it's going to be our first horror comic.
So outside of Worlds Away issues 1 through 4, you're also working on something else. So, I mean, let's go ahead and dive into what's next for you in 2023. And I think starting off, we have Tales from Nottingham issue 5.
Yep. So like I mentioned previously, in 2021, I was actually one of the winners for Mad Cave's annual talent search. If you guys don't know what that is, make sure you want to create a comic book. I can't say it enough. Mad Cave does it every year, and it's an incredible opportunity. And I would say, why not? If you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence about it, go ahead and give it a shot. But since I won that, I was able to write an issue of one of their biggest books, which is Nottingham. This is kind of a spin-off called Tales from Nottingham. Every issue is like a one-shot of an anthology, and I was lucky enough to get a story that I was really, really, really happy to get. It's pretty much the birth of Robin Hood and the Merry Men. If you guys don't know about Nottingham, it's a very gritty, grimy version of Robin Hood. And I was lucky enough to get my hands on Robin of Locksley, or Robin Hood himself.
That's so cool. That is so cool. For everyone watching, right here is the Previews World link in chat. As always, be sure to pre-order this if you're not able to. Putting this wherever you can works just as well. And man, this is an awesome opportunity for you. What else are you working on in 2023? Is this it for you, or do you have any other projects that are up your sleeve?
I have a few more. I have the Try Not to Die. Hopefully we'll be seeing the light of day around Kickstarter in April or in May, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. But I also was able to collaborate with Brian Hawkins and Patrick Foreman. If you guys don't know, they are Team Black Cotton for Scout Comics. So I wrote a script with Patrick Foreman as the head storyteller. I was able to write the script for a crime story called Remember, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more about that. It's going to be an original graphic novel. But cross your fingers for us. But I'm excited about that as well.
Let's go. We'd love to see a full plate like that, Damien. You're out there killing it, and I can't wait to see what 2023 and 2024 holds for you, man. It's gonna be
fingers for me, Cody, man.
Let's go. So, Damien, before I let you go, one of my favorite parts of the show, and you know the drill by now, where I get to ask you for a little bit of advice for anyone who is listening, who might be new, might be seasoned, or anything in between. For someone who has done such outstanding work, with script building and just writing scripts in general, what would be some of your biggest advice for someone writing a script for the first time? Maybe some of the do's and don'ts to look out for.
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to make a mistake, and it sounds cliche. And as a teacher, I've been telling students that for 10 years. But you can't be afraid to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. You will learn from it. The reason I say that is because you learn more from your mistakes, whether it's writing too much dialogue for a certain panel, or if it's putting too many panels on a page. Once you get that experience, and again, it sounds cliche, but don't be afraid to make mistakes. Once you get that experience, you'll learn from that a little bit more, and you'll say, hey, that didn't work this time. What's something different I can do next time that'll make this story or this page or this comic a little bit better? So don't be afraid to make mistakes. And I think I said this last time, but go ahead and dive in, because that's the only way that you'll find out if you're going to make it or not. But yeah, dive in. Even though it's scary, take that step.
Awesome advice as always, Damien. Thank you once again for an out of this world experience interview. Keeping it worlds away, baby, and hopefully we get you on next time for trying not to die. So
I'll be back.
Staying alive. With that being said, guys, it is time for us to wrap up. I hope you all have a lovely Saturday, but most importantly, keep it geekly.